Let's start with this. Let's just get this. And if you just want to be right here, if you can't hang with that yet, that's cool. And by the way, if that's too easy for you, I got something harder, so don't worry. But if that's too hard, then let's just go with this. How about this? Down, 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 down. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where it is. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Right? And then you can try to get. You just try to get that. So you try to grab the rhythm of the bass line, or if you're advanced, then you can grab the whole bass line, which will be like this. And if you're advanced and that's easy for you, then just make it feel good. Let's just see if we can get some rhythms with that. Can you do that? How about that? Now, anytime the variations could be playing different notes. And if you don't want to use the down, up, you don't have to. I just like to do that to practice and get the groove. Eventually, I'm going to hook the bow. So you can stay with the rhythm if you want, and you can apply it to the scale, or you can just learn the scale with me. So the first scale I'm going to teach is going to be the F harmonic minor scale on C, right? So what we got is an E natural and an A flat and a D flat. So if you want to try to play it back to me, and then A flat, then B flat, and C, D flat, E natural, F, G, let's go back down from G. F, E, D flat, C. If this is too easy for you, play it in thirds or sixths or sevenths. Up the octave. try to put that scale, if you want, you can write out the scale, you know, and again, I would write it from there to there. Again, what is the scale? It's the F harmonic minor scale. F harmonic minor. F harmonic minor scale. You can Google that if you're not sure what it is, but it's happening over a C in the bass. So we think of it as starting from C. And the notes that we emphasize are going to be the root, the third, and the seventh of this chord. And this chord is a C7 chord, right? It's vamping on the 5 chord forever and ever. So those are the notes that if anything, you can hear it in the melody, right? It does this. It's on the root, and then it lands on the 7th. 7, 7, then it goes down the root to the root. Let's just play the melody. You can just try to hear it. That's a C7. Walk down from C. We'll do it one more time. C. Walk down from C. Okay, everybody knows that tune, right? So let's go back to this groove and let's work on that scale. If you have the time, or if you're inclined to do it, you can write out the scale. Like I said, it's an F harmonic minor scale. It's got an E natural in it, and it's got an A flat, and a D flat. So unless you're able to hear it, or unless you already know it, then what I would do is I would write it out. And because then I think it'll make it easier for you to learn it. But if you do know it, then you can play these exercises with me, and you can harmonize yourself on the exercises, or you can play them in octaves. And I'll give you some other scales that are alternative scales on this for advanced players as well in a minute. But let's focus on this first. So what if we do a pattern? Let's do that pattern. But I want to try, since it's this Latin groove, I want to try to play the anticipation. Yeah. So we're playing one E and we're starting each note on . Now you don't have to do that with me, but that's where I'm going to do it. So if you were playing it with your bow, it would be like this. Try to double that up, or you can stay where you're at with it. But the double up would sound like this, something like this. So that might feel really counterintuitive to a lot of folks that play classical music, because it's like you're starting each note on the but to me that feels like a good way to try to feel this clave. It's just a good way to practice it, you know what I mean? So, and even if you listen to some lines, I'll just try to play some lines and see if you can play them back to me briefly, and then I'll let you go back and work on the scale a little bit, however you want, and I'll stay out of your way. But let's just try to play some lines with me, okay? So I'm gonna start on B flat. 2, 3, 4. On C. right, cool. So I want to give you the chance to be able to explore the scale and explore the clave at your own level, wherever that is. I want to also check here on the chat to see if there's any problems. Okay, good. F minor, F harmonic minor. That's right. Thank you. So now, again, we can back up a little bit. And what I start a lot of times with is I ask you to just grab any note in the scale, and I feel like it works here. So you know, if it's if just slow notes and not worrying about the clave, right? You could just play. And you can focus on your sound, your intonation, and just slowly hearing the sound of the scale. But you can also try landing on the anticipation. Any of those things if you want. Now, if you're advanced, so I'm just going to take a second, explain some other sounds that you can use if you want. First of all, that scale I just gave you, I stand by that, all right? But for people who want other sounds to try, I would encourage you to try the diminished scale. And in this context, the diminished scale There's a couple ways for me to explain it to you. So I'm going to explain it to you. And if you don't feel like you have to take in any of this, but I'm just going to try to do it in 1 minute for people who are advanced and want me to give them advanced concepts. But again, just to say that all this is advanced enough. But having said that, I'm going to give you some advanced concepts. So this is the diminished scale. And the way it works is it starts on C, and you play a half step, and then you play a whole step, and then you play a half step, and then you play a whole step, and then you play a half step, and then you play a whole step, and then you play a half step, and then you play a whole step. That's the diminished scale. Starting from C, you play a half step, whole, half whole, half whole, half whole. And what you get is a symmetrical 8-note diminished scale. Now, there's a few ways to imply this, but check this out. When you start on a C7 chord, which is one of the main places that you're going to use the diminished chord, when you play over a C7 chord, the place you actually want to start to make it like a bebop scale is you want to start on the 2nd degree. So on the C sharp, to the E, to the G, because these are the most defining notes of the chord. We can all try that together if you want. So if I'm going to start on B flat and I'm going to come down, it's going to be half whole, half whole. Starting on B flat, ready, and half whole, half whole, half whole. Rinse and repeat. On the anticipation. Going back up. You can do it in thirds, sixths, if you practice like that and you start on the flat 2 or the 3rd, 5th, or 7th, then it becomes like a bebop scale. And that's how you can organize the diminished scale, is just like the bebop scale, the dominant 7th bebop scale. But wait, there's more. There's other ways that you can organize this diminished scale. One is by noticing that there are basically 2 fully diminished scale 7th chords within it. So we've got this. So we have C and C sharp. So you can play all those. You can do that. But we also have 4 triads built into the scale. So we have C, E flat, F sharp, A. But we also have C minor, E flat minor, F sharp minor, A minor. Now we also have C dominant 7 and C minor 7 and C minor 7 flat 5, and the same qualities for E flat, F sharp, and A. So you can play any of those triads or any of those dominant 7th chords, and that's a way to organize it. So if I play like an A dominant 7, or F sharp, or E flat, or C. So if you rotate between any of those, that's how you can apply the diminished scale. So having said that, I would like for most people to focus on just playing the F melodic minor. But if you want that more advanced thing, that's just a tutorial on the diminished scale. And it helps if you write out the diminished scale. So go ahead and try some patterns over that F melodic minor scale, some rhythmic things, take it slow, warm up. I'm just gonna let you roll on this groove. 2, 3, and... here's another advanced concept. So we're sitting on C7, right? So you can just play C7 all day, but you can also think about playing C7 to its 5 and back to C7 to its 5 and back to C7 and its 5. So let's just say that the 5 of C7 is G7. So you could play C7, G7, C7, G7, right? But not only G7, you could use any alteration of G7. So it could be G7 altered, it could be D flat 7, flat 5. And the way that you structure that is it could be like C7, G7, it could be real long, or it could be like C7, G7, or it could be like C, G, C, G, C, G, C, G. So a lot of times when people play this, when they do the comping, instead of just playing the 3rd and 7th, we could try to play the 3rd and 7th if we want. You could do it strumming, or you could do like... That's just the 3rd and 7th. And you can try to play along with different like rhythms. But sometimes what people do, they'll do. So basically I'm going C to G, C to G. Just go up a half step. So if you want an advanced concept, that you can go between C7 and G7. So I just wanted to give that to you. So I'm going to play some lines, and you can play the lines back to me, or you can play your own thing. Okay? 2, 3, 4. So I just want you to notice that those lines that I was playing right there, they're not fast moving, right? But it can still be powerful. It can still be energetic, I believe. I believe it can still be compelling. You don't have to have tons of chops and play eighth notes. But if you've got those chops, or if you can find that harmony, then by all means, then do that, you know? And it might be that you just do shorter strings of fast notes, right? So like, you could do shorter strings of fast notes, but leave spaces. But focus on making it in time. I don't care how fancy you play. If you don't play in time, it doesn't matter, as far as I'm concerned. So really, it's not about playing fast. It's not about playing fancy. It's about playing phrases and having some intention and making it happen. So I really think it's more important. And as far as an advanced concept, this is the advanced concept I have for you. Play within your means, make it happen. That's the self-talk I give myself. You know what I mean? I can play all kinds of advanced stuff and have it mean nothing. And feel completely like I said nothing at the end of the day. So that's why everything I say here is just, that's the value I bring to what I'm trying to tell myself about my playing, is I want it to mean something. I want it to have integrity, the rhythm to have integrity, the sound to have integrity, the phrase to have integrity, the clave to have integrity, the harmony to have integrity. To me, that's what's most important. So anyway, let's go back to, let's go to this next sound here, which is F minor. We've only played one chord of the entire song of Caravan so far, and that's enough to work on for hours. But let's go to the second chord. There's only two chords in the first part. So this is F minor. F minor Dorian, if you will. So it's E flat major over F. We can try that bass line to feel the Dorian if we want. And you can also just grab single notes or dyads from E flat major. Patterns. You can play over that. It should be easier than the first one. A flat. B flat, and C, D, E flat, F. So let's try to put the whole A section together. We'll play the melody once, and then we're going to do blowing over the changes. And it's going to be up to you to to learn the form of the song, which is, you've got the C7 that happens for a long time, and then the F minor happens for a minute. So if we play the melody, hopefully you're going to be able to internalize the length of each chord. So here we go, 2, 3, and... Repeat. That's it. So I think of it as being 6 on the C and 2 on the F minor. So let's see if you can make that switch and like actually play over the form now that you know that those are the two chords that you're playing over, okay? 1, 2, you got it. C. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here comes the F. 1, 2. We're back to the top. C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 1, 2. Let's do that a couple more times. C. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice. So you just remember that the bass player, they might be playing that groove just for 12 minutes. And if you've ever been to a jam session and or like a open mic, and then like there's people that are coming up and taking solos, and then somebody else takes a solo, another person takes a solo. Can you imagine how aggravated you would be if you had to play that bass line or that like just the line on the piano? And so let's do that, all right? Shall we? Because, they say you have to walk a mile in somebody's shoes to actually empathize with them. So let's just play the bass line. The whole progression 4 times, but I'm guessing that a bass player or a drummer might have to do it like 50 or 100 times as long as we just did it, right? So just to inspire a little bit of that empathy, but also I think because by playing a bass line or by playing the groove or just playing the comping part, that's what's going to actually give you the time that you need to settle in and actually immerse yourself in the groove and understand the groove. And somebody said this in the feedback survey form. They said, what does it mean to be a beginning improviser or a advanced improviser? Like, what does that look like? But I feel like it's like it's just about putting the time in with something as simple as this, just playing the groove, and that's what it takes. Yeah. So, how do you guys feel about this? Are you ready to move on to the next section of the song? Are there any questions about the first half of Caravan? Did you get enough time to ingrain some of that? Or do you just want to blow over it some more? Yeah? Okay, good. All right. So let's go over the second half of the tune. So I'm going to call out the chords to you. F7, B flat 7, 4 bars, E flat 7, A flat 7 for 2, G7 for 2. Let's do it again. F7 for B flat 7 for 4 bars. E flat 7. A flat 7 for 2 bars. Then G. I'll give it to you one more time. F7. B flat 7. E flat 7. A flat 7, then G7. So the easy version of the bass line is going to be, well, actually it's just going to be this. Just playing like the quarter note at the beginning of every bar. So we can try that. F, just doing that, and then B flat. And this is how you're internalizing the form. Then E flat, then A flat for 2 bars, then G, right? Next version would be root 5th, root 5th, root 5th, F 5th, B flat 5th, B flat 5th, B flat 5th, root 5th, E flat 5th, root 5th, root 5th, A flat 5th, G. Let's do it again. F, B flat, E flat, A flat, and G. All right. So now here's a couple other things you can do to try to internalize the stability of the bass line. Is you can play root 5th, root 5th. Let's try that. B flat, E flat, A flat, G. Let's do that one more time. F. If you're too advanced for this, just be walking bass lines. Because I have walked at least 1,000 bass lines on this tune. And it's a great way to improvise, is to be walking bass lines on the tune. Never gets old. One more time. B flat, E flat, now here's another, we could do this one. If you caught that, I don't know. I want to make sure everybody caught that. So it's, can you play that? And then you just go back. The reason I like that is because we're finding root, 3rd, 5th, 7. So we can do that from basically from every chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. B flat, E flat, A flat, G. Again. B flat, E flat, A flat, G. So then I guess after that I would say just try to walk, you know. And so when I think about walking, I just think about basically playing the root on the downbeat of every chord. And these aren't rules, but I think these are like good general rules that you can follow if you're trying to learn to be a good, like walk good bass lines. Try to play the root on the downbeat. And then your most stable notes are going to be roots and fifths. And then after that, you've got, you know, chord tones. And after that, you've got scale tones. And after that, you've got chromatic tones. But also there's other things you can do with, and I mean, you can write a novel about how to walk bass lines, and I can't even scratch the surface of it. But you want to keep that rhythmic stability and that harmonic stability. So I'm going to take a second, and we can all take a second and just do wherever you're at with the bass line, just focus on it a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Time on that. So now let's do the 3rd and 7th of every chord. Sorry. F7, 3rd and 7th. B flat, 3rd and 7th. E flat, 3rd and 7th. They're all tritones. They're all down a step. A flat 7, G. So F7, B flat 7, E flat 7, 3rd and 7th. G. Let's do that one more time. Also just do like a strumming pattern like this if you wanted to, if it was the right context for that. Now, if you want to make it more sophisticated, then for every 5 chord that you have, you could play a 2 in front of it. And that would look like, instead of playing F, B flat, E flat, A flat, G, it would be like C, F, F, B flat, B flat, E flat, E flat, A flat, D, G. So I'm changing the 3rd and 7th to match that up. So if you want something more advanced, that's what you do. You can also look at it as a suspension. So F, mo, did I mess it up? E, o. So you can just think of it as a suspension, or you can think of it as a 2/5. So that's it. Now, if you want to learn all these scales that go with these dominant 7th chords, then remember that each chord is a 5. So you just go down a 5 from there, and that's your scale. So F7, that's the B flat major scale. It's a 5 of B flat. B flat 7, it's the 5 of what scale? E flat, right? E flat 7 is the 5 of A flat. So that's your scale. A flat 7 is a 5 of D flat, and G is a 5 of C. So you can play, those can be your key signatures. The key signature of B flat, the key signature of E flat, A flat, and G, I guess. Unless I missed one. I missed D flat. So they could be properly known as the Mixolydian scale. So maybe you can try to play after me. F Mixolydian. B flat Mixolydian. Do it again. So if we try just to play Mixolydian, because I'm so used to using, I use the Be-Bop scales for it, which was going to be my point. So if you're playing Be-Bop scales, then you can use the dominant 7th Be-Bop scale for each chord, which would be like this. And I want to just go over that again briefly, how the Be-Bop scale works. So basically, that was it. It's got the flat 7 and the major 7, and that makes it a symmetrical 8-note scale, which gives you the advantage of being able to fall on the root 3rd, 5th, or 7th on every strong beat, as long as you start on one of them and as long as you move stepwise. For example, like that. So you could do, and you always get, and that's why it works so well. So what I've shown to some people, and this is in the Facebook group, is this exercise, basically what I just showed you, which is, and so we'll just, you can play after me if you want. So we'll start on F, yeah. So if you hear, like the way I'll probably play over it, I'll use a lot of those Be-Bop scales. So I'll just let you hear it for a second. So if you want, you can try to play over all these dominant 7th chords, and you can just try to play any of the chord tones or do any of that stuff that we just went over. I'm just going to let it loop for you and see how it goes. And we'll see how it goes. You can let me know. I mean, it's not supposed to be easy. 1, 2, ready, go. F7. This is the same as Sweet Georgia Brown, Graham. Same exact progression. E flat 7. A flat 7, G, F, B flat 7, E flat 7, A flat 7, G. And if you're just here, if that's all you're doing, that's great. If you're just playing the chord tones, that's great. F7, B flat 7. Answer Victoria's question. Victoria asked about the bass line. Like, I basically think of a swing bass line as just being, you know, just this ting, 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 ting. You know, this kind of, but occasionally you can play a little pickup, you know. I mean, I just try to mix it up, and I just listen to good bass lines and try to. I don't consider myself a good bass player, so I don't really want to muddy the waters. If somebody has an idea about it, I'm welcome to let me know what they think.
Is there a certain note you're aiming for, like the third below or something? Like, what are you picking up?
Oh, I just use the open string, so I don't care what the chord is.
Okay.
You know? Or sometimes I'll do 2 fingers. But usually I'll do a hammer on. So I don't even really care what the bottom note is. I just use the hammer on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thanks.
Cool.
Hey, Chris, I have a question.
Yeah.
And this may seem like a really dumb question.
No dumb questions here.
I'm just learning all these scales and things. So, you know, I'm just trying to get acclimated to what they are and playing them and being able to go up and down on them. So how do you get to that point where you bridge over into actually making combinations and playing like anything similar to what you were playing?
Yeah, well, like, you know, like that Be-Bop Scale thing that I was talking about, that exercise, you know, that probably took me like 3 months just to kind of get the hang of. That doesn't mean I was fluent with it. I mean, I you know, and I think you want to really focus on just a small amount of material and being thorough with it. So whether you're approaching like the melodic minor scale that we used, or whether you're using the diminished scale. I mean, I've been working on the diminished scale for 25 years, and I do not even feel nearly like I've really scratched the surface of it yet. You know, but like I took a couple years when I worked on melodic minor, and I feel really strong on melodic minor on most of my keys, but there's a couple keys that like are still weak. We all have weak keys and strong keys. And then, but the Be-Bop scale, I feel pretty fluent on. The, you know, the pentatonics, you know, the major scale. I see each of these kind of scales as like a color world, a scale world. And so I feel like it when I say world, I mean that's how much respect it deserves from us. So I get the sense that people get really impatient, and it's like, how long is it going to take me? Yeah, a few years. It's going to take you a few years. And you want to focus. One of the biggest things that I recommend not to do is to be like, I'm working on pentatonics and Be-Bop scale and diminished and melodic minor and major scale and this other crazy scale I found over here. I don't find that I make progress when I work on too many of the different scales at once. So I really recommend you just really dive in deep and just have respect for it. And just, that's why I do all the patterns the way I do. That's why I say write it out so that you're not BSing. And I think that a lot of us, we feel this temptation that like, or this expectation that we should be able to hear it and do it by our ears. And I just have not found that to be true for me. I have found it to be true for me that I know how to read, and so it helps me to read with the intention of memorizing something faster. So I will read it off the page, and then I will turn the page over. And again, I know that there's a lot of people who swear by the importance of learning things by ear. I'm not saying don't learn anything by ear, but I'm also saying there are some people that are stronger in ear. Some people are stronger reading. For me, I find that reading helps me build my ear. So like if I hear something, but then I write it out, like what's transcription? Well, you're learning it and then you're reading it, and you know, so I think a lot of patience is important. Did I answer your question, Sherry?
Yes, basically, it's just going to take some time.
Yeah.
It's not going to come overnight like anything else. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think the beautiful thing about it, though, is that, you know, the thing is that, like, you can say a lot on this tune, Caravan, without playing fast, without doing things that are fancy. I really believe that. Yeah. And even the melody is so lyrical and sparse. You know, so I think the I never get the bridge right, but I think the melody on the bridge is like this. It's something like that. And then we're back to. So I just feel like there's so much that you can say, even if you're not playing a bunch of fancy stuff. And there's a lot of people that are playing a lot of fancy stuff, but they're not saying anything, including me many times. Still today, often. So, and that's what's, to me, that's really what's important. Okay, cool.
Christian,
Yeah.
could you mute your sound just for a second? Because I can't tell if the beat I hear is in your sound or is it?
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, you have like a high pitch.
Oh, crap. Okay. So,
I hear really high things easy, so maybe I'm the only one who hears it. But
does anybody else hear it? Okay, well, let's try this. How's that? Is it gone? Okay, all right. I'm just going with the internal computer because my interface sometimes, I have to buy a new interface because it goes in and out. You can hear me now, all right? How about the loop? Can you hear the loop? It's okay now? All right. Sorry about that. Thanks, Leslie. Cool, that's Caravan. Do you want to try the whole tune? All right, let's play the whole tune. So I'm going to roll it for you, and I'll play the melody along, but I'll just play it really quietly along. So you can follow the melody with me if you want, or you can just blow over the whole tune. 1, 2, ka-tee, ka-ta. Sorry, my bad. Here comes the bridge. Last A. So here's the top of the form. Dominant chord, dominant chord, dominant chord. Tension, tension, tension. And resolution. Here's the bridge, swing.